Right now, new details on the suspect in the deadly terror attack in New Orleans. What we're also learning about some of the victims. Plus, new information on the Cybertruck that exploded outside of a Trump hotel. Why investigators are looking for links between that and the New Orleans attack. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. Breaking news at this hour. A young student is dead after they were hit by a school bus in Sussex this morning. According to a letter from the Hamilton School District Superintendent, the child was a 4K student. Prior to the crash, the student was getting ready to board a shuttle bus from Silver Spring Intermediate School to Willow Springs Learning Center. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Department says it's investigating the incident and will provide more information at a later time. We are learning new details about the victims of the deadly attack in New Orleans. Authorities say 14 people were killed and at least 39 more were injured. Investigators now say the driver, who was killed by police, acted alone, inspired by ISIS. Nicole Valdez reports.
Law enforcement searched the Houston area home Thursday of the driver who intentionally rammed a truck into the crowd in New Orleans on New Year's Day.
We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack is involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar.
The FBI has identified the attacker as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen and Army veteran. Court records show he was divorced 3 times in the past 13 years. The FBI says the killer had an ISIS flag attached to the truck.
He posted several videos to an online platform proclaiming his support for ISIS.
Authorities say at least one suspected improvised explosive device and 2 guns were recovered at the scene.
ARs and bombs and all that, man. But the aftermath was really what got me, like bodies all up and down the street.
Among the victims killed were 28-year-old former Princeton University football star Tiger Besh and Reggie Hunter, a 37-year-old father of 2.
This hurts. This is terrible. And we want as much justice for him as we possibly can get.
New Orleans police say they are ramping up their security protocols after the city temporarily removed protective barriers designed to block traffic.
We're going to harden the targets more by using heavier equipment to block these intersections.
A cruiser had been positioned along Bourbon Street, but the suspect sped around it, veering onto the sidewalk. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, New Orleans.
The Sugar Bowl is set to kick off this afternoon at the city's Superdome after it was postponed because of Wednesday's attack. Officials say the stadium and surrounding areas are safe for the college football game between the University of Georgia and Notre Dame. Right now, Madison police say a man is dead after being found unresponsive while in their custody. This happened on Monday. Investigators say the man was a suspect in a vehicle theft at the Best Western Hotel on Anamark Drive. Madison police took him into custody after chasing him on foot. The 32-year-old was evaluated by EMS at the scene but was found unresponsive after arriving at the Dane County Jail. He was taken to a local hospital but did not survive. Right now, Beloit police are investigating a shooting. It happened just over an hour before the new year. Officers responded to a call from Jackson Street. They found a man injured from the shooting. Officers were able to save the man's life before other first responders took him to the hospital. Beloit police have not said if anyone is in custody in connection to this incident. They are asking anyone with information to contact the Greater Beloit Area Crime Stoppers. That number is 608-362-7463. This afternoon, federal investigators are looking into a Cybertruck exploding outside a Las Vegas hotel owned by President-elect Donald Trump. The suspect, identified as Matthew Allen Leibelsberger, an active duty Army member stationed in Germany, but on leave at his home in Colorado Springs. Some of his relatives say Leibelsberger rented a Cybertruck, and they say his wife had not heard from him in several days. Authorities are investigating to see if there is any connection between the Las Vegas explosion and the truck attack in New Orleans. In addition to the New Year's Day timing, both involved trucks rented through the Turo app, and both involved U.S.-born servicemen who served in Afghanistan around the same time.
I don't think it is a coincidence that you had 2 attacks renting from the same site, both veterans.
The U.S. military says it has found no connections in the service periods between the Las Vegas and New Orleans attackers. Funeral plans are being completed for the late President Jimmy Carter. He'll be honored with ceremonies spanning more than a week. It all starts this weekend, where people can pay their respects at the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta. On Tuesday, his remains will be flown to Washington, where he'll lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda. His funeral is set for Thursday of next week at the Washington National Cathedral. Preparations for the funeral started not long after he was sworn in as president in 1977.
State funeral is our way, our nation's way, of rendering its last honor to the commander-in-chief. And the military takes it very serious, of course, because it's a no-fail mission. Probably embodies maybe 600-700 people. So you're pulling that many people offline every 3 months in order to make sure that when the day comes, that we're ready for that.
President Biden declared January 9th a national day of mourning. The nation's 39th president will eventually be laid to rest in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. Tomorrow, the House of Representatives will vote to elect a speaker for the new Congress. If Congressman Mike Johnson keeps his gavel, he will have the narrowest House majority in nearly 100 years. Republicans won 220 House seats in the November election. Democrats won 215. But the partisan breakdown could actually be 217 to 215. Two GOP lawmakers are expected to join the Trump administration, and GOP Representative Matt Gaetz is not planning to return to Congress. These tight margins make it difficult for GOP leaders to swiftly enact Donald Trump's agenda. Well, the cold is getting ready to settle on into southern Wisconsin. First Warn meteorologist Savannah Brito has a look at your certified most accurate forecast. She's out on the weather patio. Hi, Savannah.
Hi, Josh. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, we're tracking cold temperatures northwest of here. It's not terrible outside here, and we currently don't have a wind chill in Madison, at least. But you can see where the coolest air is. Only 8 degrees in Bismarck and 9 degrees in International Falls. So that air already in portions of the Midwest, northwest of here. We're at 26 right now in Madison. Not terrible. We will see temperatures warm probably another degree. That sunshine helping us warm a little bit more. Upper 20s are in the forecast for most of us, but winds are going to increase. We're looking at about 15 to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Right now, we're only at 5 miles per hour. Later in the afternoon, I should say, and into the evening, that's when we'll see those pick up. But wind chills right now, like I mentioned, we're not seeing much of one in Madison, but surrounding areas, especially north and northwest of Madison, those places are actually as low as the teens, and we'll see even cooler wind chills in the forecast tonight into early tomorrow. So, Josh, we have that cooler air northwest of here, and that's eventually going to make its way here. Not ready for it. I should have brought my coat outside. It is a little chilly, but I forgot.
I was just going to give you a hard time, but I think you're a Wisconsinite now without that jacket on outside.
So. I always have it on in the morning, though.
Yes, we'll see you in just a few minutes, Savannah. Thank you. Well, a new year means new laws in Wisconsin, and those with electric vehicles will have to pay a little more in taxes. A new 3 cents per kilowatt tax will be applied to all public EV charging stations. That only applies to public stations, not ones at someone's home. Also, in an attempt to address the state's healthcare shortage, a new law allows physicians who practice or trained in another country to apply for a provisional license in Wisconsin. This will create a pathway for international physicians to practice here without having to repeat residency requirements in the U.S. Still ahead on a Thursday afternoon, a recall on ready-to-eat broccoli, plus why Ford is recalling thousands of diesel-powered trucks.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
The U.S. stock market will be closed 1 week from today, January 9th, in honor of former President Jimmy Carter. That's the date of Carter's state funeral in Washington, which President Joe Biden has also declared as a national day of mourning. It is tradition for the markets to close to honor the nation's leaders. Earlier this week, the New York Stock Exchange also held a moment of silence for the 39th president, who died Sunday at the age of 100. Ford is recalling nearly 300,000 diesel-powered F-Series trucks. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the vehicle's fuel pumps may fail and cause a loss of power, increasing the risk of a crash. Ford says so far it is unaware of any accidents or injuries caused by the issue. Owners of the recalled vehicles can get a free repair at Ford dealerships. And Braga Fresh has issued a voluntary recall for 12-ounce bags of its marketplace ready-to-eat broccoli florets due to possible listeria contamination. The produce was sold by Walmart stores with a Best Buy date of December 10th, 2024. The FDA says all of the affected items are past their expiration date and are no longer on store shelves. Anyone who still has the recalled broccoli should throw it away. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Wendy Gillette.
Here's a look at the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 256 points, NASDAQ down 161, and the S&P 500 also down 41. We have today's egg prices straight ahead, plus Savannah is back with the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, Dr. Zorba Pastor with how fairy tales can help teach children about healthy sleep. Pam Yankee is out of the radio barn today. She'll be back later next week. So here are your farm numbers. Colder temperatures are settling on in. Here's Savannah Brito with the complete forecast. Hi, Savannah.
Hi, Josh. Thank you. Yeah, we're already starting to see that cool down actually to our northwest. Madison and southern Wisconsin, not the case yet. We're actually sitting at 26. Our average high 27, so we're just a degree off, and I do think we'll reach that in the next couple of hours. Northwest of here, though, there are teens up in northern portions of the state, 14 in Rhinelander, 16 only in Ladysmith. So eventually we're going to see that cool down. That's already underway. By tomorrow afternoon, we won't be seeing seasonable temperatures that are going to be in the mid to upper 20s this afternoon. Winds, though, those are already starting to increase. Because of that, we do have wind chills that are a little bit more prominent than even what we saw this morning and what we had yesterday, but the sunshine actually is helping at least a little bit. Cool going forward, we're talking about sub-zero chills tomorrow and Saturday morning. So those mornings are going to be the coolest that we've seen in quite some time. And then the snow system, there's one passing to our south currently and another one over the weekend. I do think both of those systems stay to our south. So if you wanted snow, gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Here's the snow on radar, currently a loop over the last 3 hours showing the snow just to our southwest. Maybe a flurry too across the southern Wisconsin and Madison area, but we're definitely not talking about accumulating snow and all of that staying across northern Illinois. In fact, Iowa and portions of northern Illinois, those places have a winter weather advisory already out. We're seeing a winter storm watch well to our southwest. That's with this system that is going to bring us potentially a little bit of snow areas basically to our south. This is later this afternoon into the evening. Because of that, we did see clouds increase. So we saw a little bit of cloud decreasing overnight and some clearing to our skies. It's not really the case right now, but eventually we'll start to see some peaks and some clearing take place. I think by the second half of Friday and into Saturday, will actually be mostly sunny, but cooler than what we have seen the last couple of days. The next system, this is what I was talking about, wherever that snow currently is falling, Iowa and northern Illinois are under a winter weather advisory. This one is not for today. This is actually for the weekend, Saturday into Sunday, a winter storm warning. So the National Weather Service will either upgrade that to the purple color, which is an advisory, or a winter storm warning, which is a pink color. I don't think we're going to see any of that. In fact, the area that they're kind of focusing on is so well to our southwest. I think it even passes south of the Chicagoland area, so I don't really think we're talking about much precipitation from that, if any at all. Here's the wind chill forecast. So most of the afternoon and especially the evening, that's when we're going to start to see those dip. This is the forecast for tomorrow morning, though. We're looking at sub-zero chills, 8:30 in the morning, about -5 degrees. Some areas, though, could dip as low as what feels like -10 degrees. Air temperatures, though, those will be in the lower teens overnight into tomorrow. I don't really think we'll see a lot of improvement tomorrow afternoon. We're looking at maybe 0 if we're lucky across Madison. That's what it feels like out there. And then south and eastward could see some positive numbers. Northwest of Madison, we're probably not looking at getting out of the sub-zero or negative numbers at all for wind chills. And that'll be the case, but lower Saturday morning. We do have that cool down, even cooler weather settles in for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're looking at only the teens, 15. We did raise that a little bit, though, Josh, from what we had yesterday. It was 10, so maybe a little bit better.
There we go. January in Wisconsin, Savannah.
It's settling in.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen showing us how a cold beer can help make you warm and cozy this winter.
January is National Soup Month, and I can't think of a better time to dig into a steaming bowl of soup. So that's what we're making today, and it'll go with all our game day favorites. Just wait until you see all the fun ways we can serve it. All we do is heat some milk with a little beer in a soup pot. That can be anything from light beer or a dark stout to non-alcoholic. See, I told you this would be good for game day. Once it's heated through, we add 2 jars of cheese bread. And to give this a boost of flavor, we add some condensed chicken broth, straight from a can, a touch of Worcestershire, and a shake or two of hot sauce. Now, to give this body, we stir in some cornstarch mixed with more beer and let it simmer until it thickens up. Now, as for ways to serve this, how about pouring shots so everyone can get a taste? Or better yet, serve it in an edible bread bowl topped with bacon and scallions. I hope you'll go online so you can celebrate National Soup Month with our creamy beer cheese soup that'll make you the talk of the table. When the flavor is this good, you can't go wrong. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for an easier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
When we come back at noon, we'll introduce you to our pet of the week from the Dane County Humane Society. Time for Potentially Yours. Lisa Bernard from the Dane County Humane Society is here with our pet of the week. Happy New Year, Lisa.
Happy New Year.
And it's time to find a new home for this guy in the new year.
Yes, this is Anakin. Anakin, let go of my finger. Anakin's a 2-month-old puppy, so we're going through mouthy stages.
The puppy stages,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So tell us about Anakin.
He is 2 months. They believe he's an Australian cattle dog.
Interesting.
Yes. And he was transferred just last week to us with his 3 siblings from an overcrowded shelter in Mississippi.
Okay.
So his three siblings have gotten adopted, and he's the last one.
Oh, then we gotta find him a home then.
Exactly. What a great time to start the new year with a new puppy.
Yes, and obviously the winter time, so plenty of time to maybe train them indoors for a little bit.
Yeah, what to chew on, what not to chew on, like your fingers.
Yes, yeah, you can tell like definitely the puppy stages, which they all go through, right? That's part of the many stages of dog ownership, right?
It is, it totally is. And the younger they are, you know, the more puppy training you have to do. So he's gonna have to learn potty training, and that fingers are not chew toys.
He was just watching your hand that whole time.
He's like, that's a nice flying object there.
Yeah. So what kind of family would suit Anakin well?
I think any family who wants to take on puppy training and working with mouthiness, since he's going through the teething stage right now. You'll have to watch out if you have children, just because he's gonna love to play with them and possibly chew on them too. So just teaching them to keep their hands away from his mouth.
And teaching them early is important, and
exactly.
then setting them up for success, you know, in the future.
Exactly, and we want to set up Anakin for success too.
100%.
So,
Well,
very
wonderful.
important.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for sharing Anakin. We'll find him a home.
Yes, thank you.
And a reminder, there are still spots available to register your child for DCHS After Dark on Friday, January 10th, with the theme of future veterinarians. Children's ages 7 through 12 will partake in vet-related games and activities, adopt their very own patient, on which they'll practice giving checkups and spend time with the DCHS classroom animals. After Dark is from 4:30 to 7. You can learn more and register your animal enthusiast. You can visit giveshelter.org/afterdark. And hey, we have some news on last week's pet, Blondie the dog, still available for adoption. So you can adopt Blondie, you can adopt Anakin, or if you're interested in checking out some of the other animals at Dane County Humane Society, just go to giveshelter.org. Savannah's here at the final check for those dog walks, Savannah.
It definitely is going to be cold, especially if you're going to be out tomorrow or Saturday mornings. Wind chills are going to be in the sub-zero, below zero. We could be looking at this cold snap for quite some time. I would say at least through the middle of January. You'll see that reflect at the end of the 10-day forecast. In fact, today into the next several days, we don't even have a 32 out there. So we're going to be below freezing level from here on out for quite some time, Josh.
All right, Savannah, thank you. And thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Sure, now you're not all bitey. Now you're not all bitey.